Welcome, one and all, to The Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream to the world. Guys, it's a Friday night. I believe it's the second to last Friday night here in the great month of February. We are live. We are ready to have a good time tonight. Oh, we got a good one tonight because this is a villain night. This is a night where we share some of the goodness, some of the fun, some of the cool stuff that the bearded villains are doing. Well, I guess we always do that. But tonight, we're going to be broken down into 3 or 4 different segments, talking to a handful of different people about a variety of different things that are going on right now. And that's going to be episode 71. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this thing takes us, and excited to share some of the really cool stuff that's going on in the world of BV tonight. So we've got a few different things to get into, but episode 71 is going to be a good time. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you were here live on the YouTube, thank you so much for being here. Make sure you get the old subscribe button clicked so you can get all the good stuff, alerts and everything like that, all the fun stuff that comes in down the road for sure. If you are a regular podcast listener, remember that you can always go out there and check out all the previous podcast episodes, all 70 of them now, at theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. Theheartofavillain.simplecast.com. Friday. This is the 19th. Wow, it's a night. It's a night. Today was one of those podcast episodes where I had some ideas about a whole bunch of different things I wanted to do. And I've said for a little while now, I wanted to incorporate a lot of the smaller things, not full on grand interviews, but some of the smaller things that our brothers are doing out in the world. And it could be a chapter thing. It could be just a little glimpse into what's going on, a little fundraiser here, what people are doing out there. So that's kind of what tonight's going to be about. We've got some brothers and we've got some chapters that are doing some really cool things. And with this episode, we're going to be crossing all the places. Well, not all the places. Basically, it's just here in the States for what I've got right for tonight. However, anybody that's overseas, anybody that's in the UK, anybody that's in Australia, anybody that's in South America, not technically overseas, but down the landmass it is, anybody that's outside the States, if you have something going on, please, please, please keep us aware, because I want to be able to share all that good stuff that you guys have going on as well. We're going to have a visit from a brother on a live phone call. Hopefully everything will work out a little bit later today, and a little bit later tonight in the podcast. And he's got kind of a neat little Instagram page that he's created so that he can further the knowledge and further the help from other brothers who have started some sort of a business or another. And it could be selling products. It can be all sorts of different things, services. It can be just helping to raise awareness. And so he created a porthole, whereas on this Instagram page, everybody shares what it is they're doing. And it's a neat thing because all of it's bearded villain business related. And we're going to talk to him a little bit about some of that stuff, how we can better, assist others, assist our bearded villain friends, brothers, all the good stuff in the businesses. So that's coming up. I'm also going to be talking with one of our brothers that is no stranger to the show, and he's here live right now on the YouTube. I'm going to be talking with Gator, and Gator's got a really cool project coming up. He's created a label. Yes, he's created a label. He's raising some money. We're going to get into what Gator's doing there. Also, we have a update from Tennessee Tone. He's giving us an update on what became of Nash Vegas and what it has morphed into, so that anybody that does have questions about what's going on with Nash Vegas, you've seen, you might have heard about it. You might have heard of what's going on. So Tennessee Tone is going to give us a little bit of a update on what's happening since Nash Vegas was officially canceled. I'm also going to be speaking with one of our brothers from down south, from the Miami chapter. Now, Miami's doing a really cool awareness campaign where they're raising money to help out a young boy stricken with cancer, and we're going to get into that as well. Now, all of these visitors are going to be visiting us via phone calls today. So those of you watching on the YouTube won't get quite as much fun out of it, but everybody else that's listening, you won't even notice a difference if you're listening on a regular podcast platform because it's going to sound the same to you. Genius, isn't it? Yeah, crazy. And then we're going to also have a visit from our brother, hopefully live, talking to us about, how we can help out all of our Bearded Villain businesses and such going on with that. So I want to say thank you again to everybody who is live right now. Of course, Mr. Robaba is tuning in, and it is after 1 o'clock in the morning over there. So we do appreciate that. Jess was in the house. Jay is here. Sharissa claims herself to be the token female. Oh, we've got more. Come on. Sharissa's here with Jay, and they're arranging eating dinner. We'll get into that conversation in a minute. Are you a fan of fruiting your pizza, or do you say no fruit on the pizza? Pineapple, yes. Pineapple, no. I already know what Jay feels. We had that discussion offline. So, and of course, Gator is here live with us visiting, and so is the Bearded Irishman hanging out. And Chris is in the house as well. Great to see you, Chris. All right. Guys, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We're going to have a fun one tonight because there's a bunch of little tidbits of information that I want to pass on about some of the things that our family is doing within the Bearded Villains community. Because we got a lot of really cool things going on. And this is, by far, just the tip of the iceberg. The tip of the iceberg here with what everything's going on. So, but first, I've got to share this with everybody because I think this is hysterical. I'll just preface it with this. The Law and Order theme. I find this hysterical. So the other day, just a quick story here. The other day, well, I guess it's been about a month now. I received the typical mail that comes from the court telling you that you need to fill out this questionnaire regarding being a prospective juror. And I've laughed at this because I've received this a few times before. Most of the time it's been while I was actually employed as a law enforcement officer. And it's pretty much it's a guarantee when you're working in that capacity, as far as I know, that you're not going to be serving on any jury. So I laughed at it. It's happened once since I retired, where I filled out the form and, of course, never heard anything, which didn't surprise me at all. So same old this time around. And if you've ever filled out one of those jury questionnaire forms, you know that for the prospective jurors, you fill out, and are you friends with any people in law enforcement? It goes through this whole thing. And I'm like, yes. How many people, can you list the people that you do know in law enforcement? No, far too many. I can't list them all. I've got family members. I've got, people I've known for 20 something years. Family members who are judges. I mean, so I figured, hey, send it off. Have a good day. Today, I got a little something in the mail. And I have to laugh about this. I got a summons. I got a summons to appear as a juror, as a prospective juror. They actually, apparently, either maybe COVID numbers are down and they don't have enough people to show up as prospective jurors or not, but I have been selected as a prospective juror, this says. And it tells me the date and the time when I have to show up. It tells me all of my fancy instructions. I'm excited about that because I've been in court so many times, it's not even funny. And never once have I been in court as one of the jurors. I think it would be a fun change of pace. People are oftentimes saying that that's going to mess up their schedule. What am I going to worry about? I'm a stay-at-home dad and a podcast host and a bearded villain. I'm going to show up and have a blast. See if they take me. We'll see. But no idea. But I thought it was pretty funny. For the first time ever, I get to go to court ordered to show up for what it's worth. And we'll kind of see. We'll see where that goes. But, yeah, I was pretty surprised to see that thing roll in the mailbox today. For sure. Okay, guys, I want to share with you a few things. I'm just gonna preface a couple of things here, and then we're gonna get back to them in more detail as time goes on. The first thing I want to show you is this little guy here, and we're gonna the Bearded Villains Pennsylvania South chapter. Pennsylvania South chapter. They are doing a St. Patty's Day patch, raglan shirt, and T-shirt. It's actually packaged together, I think, as a combo, even possibly. So if you're interested, they are raising some money. The specifics on where the money is going, I think it's going to a Little League something, and then to their nonprofit. But these are really cool designs. Obviously, we love all the green this time of year. The St. Patty's Day raglan is $23. The patch is only $9. These are all pre-orders. And then the T-shirt is between $20 and $23, depending on sizing, I'm guessing. But it's a pre-order that will end. This is why time is of the essence, folks. It will end on the 1st, March 1st, 2021, is when this pre-order ends for the Bearded Villains Pennsylvania South St. Patty's Day merch. You can find this at BVPAS. That's B as in boy, V as in Victor, PAS.bigcartel.com. Also, we're going to get into this a little bit later. The Bearded Villains Miami are doing their own green versions of some clothing. They've got a T-shirt. They've got a patch. The T-shirt's between $20 to $22. Patch is $10. And it is going to benefit a young man named Alex who's fighting cancer. BV305.com is where you can get that information. Also, the Bearded Villains SoCal Boys. All of our brothers in Southern California are jumping together with a collaboration to raise money for one of our other brothers who's going through some pretty dire health stuff. And so get out there. I know it's on the LA chapter, LA Originals chapter IG page is the link. But they are raising money with a patch. It says Villains for Johnny. Very bright, bold patch. Very cool looking. It's only $12. And as I understand it, you can order as many as you like. There's no cap on this. So order as many as you like to help out. $12. And you get that through the Bearded Villains LA Originals site. So hit those boys up. And then also, we're going to get right into this in just a second. Our brother, Gator, is selling some merch. And we're going to get into what this is and why in just a second. It's called the 5 Points apparel line here. And it's available at 5 Points. That's the number 5 points.bigcartel.com. He's got a patch for $10, a hoodie for $26 to $32, depending on your sizing, and a 5 Points t-shirt for $18 to $25. Very cool stuff. Now, I had a phone call a little bit earlier with Gator so that he could kind of describe to us exactly what was going on and what this 5 Points is all about. And so let's enjoy a quick conversation here with Gator about what 5 Points is, what the proceeds are going to, and why he decided to do this. Okay, so apparently we're having a glitch here, and because of that, we're going to do something a little different. We're going to fly by the seat of our pants here, folks. Let's see here. Going to try to bring this in. Talk amongst yourselves for just a second here. We're going to go here. We'll go here for just a second. Technical. I don't have a tech. That's what I need. I need a technical difficulties. Please stand by page for a second here. But I do have some music that we can play for a second as we go. I will be right back with you in just a second as I figure this out. Okay, I believe I may have figured this out. It was a routing problem, folks. I do apologize. We're going to try this one more time, and we're going to play a little snippet from our brother here. Right here he is. This is Gator describing to us. We'll try this one more time. Give me all thumbs up live if this works just fine for you. So I have Gator on the line here today. He's going to tell us a little bit about a cool project that he's got going. He started a page, a name, a label for himself to do this project with called 5 Points. And he's raising some money for an organization, some really cool stuff. And the time is running out for you to be able to help support this cause. So, Gator, can you tell us a little bit about what you've got going on and what you're selling?
Okay, so we got 5 Points. 5 Points is a brand that I created based off several different aspects. Basically, it's just basically breaking the chains of the mental chains that people are stuck in, is what the theme is based off of for the brand. But right now we're raising money to go to benefit at-risk youth, troubled youth, homeless youth, basically anything that has to do with the youth in need. All the funds are going to Indiana Outreach at the moment, but I'm hoping to get it to a different level of where we can do more things. which will be discussed at a later date. But as of right now, it's just going to Indiana Outreach they have a lot of programs. I've been in talks with them over the phone, online, emails. I'm waiting right now to be able to get in there and do some hands-on stuff with the teams that they have in programs there. All the money is going to their programs. It's going to clothing. It's going to mentoring. It's going to counseling. That's where all the funds go to that get donated to this organization. It's local, and they're really passionate about what they do. So that's why I chose them.
Wow. How did you find out about these guys?
Basically just doing a lot of research, online research, talking to people in the area. And they seem to have their stuff together, and they're really personable. Like, they're not like a giant organization, so they really need the help. And so that's why I decided to go with them.
Very cool. Well, so now, I mean, you described a little bit about what they're kind of wide ranging in all the different things that they do, but this is this is specifically for, as I think you said, as for at-risk youth. Is that
Yes, that's their focus. That's what they deal with. They don't deal with anything but teens, like teenagers that are going through things, teenagers that need help, teenagers that need an outlet for things in life. Basically, that's their main focus. They don't work on anything else but with teenagers that have troubles or need help or going through problems and, stuff like that.
So do you have any idea, not to put you on the spot, did you have any idea how these kids come in contact with this organization? Do they just come across them through court, or do they just come across them on their own? Or are they recommended to them?
They come across them in the streets. They come across them through the schools. They come across them, like you said, through courts sometimes. They do a lot for teenagers. They even have like a shelter for the homeless teen aspect of it, where they bring them in, they feed them, they give them clothes, they do all kinds of stuff for the homeless aspect. And then they got programs and counseling and mentoring for like the troubled teens, which is what my main focus is. And, they do a lot. So. Wow.
That's pretty amazing. They actually, because it's not a lot of these youth programs are designed for only for if they've been court ordered or something like that. That's how they hear about them. But it's pretty cool to think that this organization actually reaches out and seeks out these kids kind of on their own, in addition to the normal ways.
Yes, sir.
So, am I correct? The 5 points are love, inspire, passion, purpose, and loyalty.
Yes, sir.
All right. So everybody, pay real close attention over the next couple seconds here. We've got a patch, we've got a hoodie, and we've got a T-shirt. He's raising money. Has a really cool. Now, did you design this logo yourself?
Yes, sir. I did.
Very cool. Very cool. Super cool. I love it. And anybody that knows Gator knows that this just fits his personality so perfectly. Yes. 5 points. It's got the breaking of the chains on it, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of thought that actually went to that logo. I mean, my Irish heritage, my Irish background had a lot to do with the 5 point name itself. I don't know if anybody knows or a lot of people know, but 5 Points in New York was the original immigration area for Irish immigrants coming over during the potato famine during the late and mid 1800s. So that's where that comes from. And then you got the 5-leaf clover, and then the breaking of the chains, which a lot of people know my history. Some of you don't, but it's not the greatest, but I broke those chains, those mental chains that held me in a spot for so long. And then just the words, they speak for themselves. So.
Very cool. And I know you keep saying it's not the greatest, but I think it's an amazing story. We've talked about that before.
Yeah.
Complete redemption story, and I think it's a huge plus and a great example for other people. Just real quick while I've got you, what's the logo on the hoodie, on the front of the hoodie? I can't make out because it looks different than the patch.
It is a Celtic heart. That's what that is.
Very cool.
Yeah, it goes back again to the whole Irish thing. So,
all right. So everybody can get these items at 5points.bigcartel.com. 5points.bigcartel.com for the next 3 days?
Yes, sir. I've already made 2 donations to the organization, and then I will make another one on Monday once I have a total tally of what all's been brought in and what I need to spend for shipping and all that stuff. So,
wow. That's pretty. That's very inspiring, bro. Inspire right there at the 6 o'clock on your patch. That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Fits so well in with everything that we are all about and what you're all about. I love it. So, guys, check this out. Get over there. The patches are only $10. The hoodies are 26 to 32. I'm assuming dependent upon the size. Normal people sizes versus big boy sizes, and then
yes.
And then the 5 points tee, $18 to $25, accordingly with the same criteria there. Gator,
Yes,
thanks so much, man. And for those of you who who don't have this yet, he does have. I looked earlier today, unless it's sold out, at 5points.bigcartel.com. He also still has a patch out there, an old Gator patch of some sort, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. There's still one of the older Gator patches still on there.
Yeah, that's
I think it's $5 right now.
Yeah, that's a steal for that patch. That's awesome. All right, Gator, thanks so much for taking some time with me on a Friday night, and I hope this thing just sells like crazy for you in the next 3 days. Hope we're able to help promote it a little bit for you, and you're able to really make some contributions here and see some really cool stuff come of this.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right, thanks, Gator. Take care.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
That was our brother Gator doing some really cool stuff there, guys. And he is, again, 5points.bigcartel.com. Hit him up. The money's going to a great place. Real personal touch to it. Personal touch in so many different ways, because he's lived the life of what he's trying to prevent these kids from having to follow in those footsteps. But on top of that, a personal touch with the logo, with multiple logos within that, the phrasing, everything about it. So kudos to you, Gator. Great job. Hope everybody can reach out. And don't make this a one-time thing, because by all means, it sure sounds like this is something that Gator wants to take way beyond this one thing. Gator's planning on taking this way beyond just this one event, this one fundraising capability. So just keep us posted. I know there's some great things coming from that in the future. He's got some really good ideas. And the sky's the limit for what he's going to be able to do with that. So I'm really excited to see exactly what he's going to do with that. That's going to be awesome. So I want to roll in next to what in the world is going on in Nash Vegas, or without Nash Vegas this year. Most of you know Nash Vegas has been canceled officially. Now, Nash Vegas, the ironic part about this is Nash Vegas was the very last event that we actually were able to scoot in under the cusp of everything that was COVID. At the time when Nash Vegas was held last year, we were just starting to hear bits and pieces about how potentially bad this thing called coronavirus was. And as a matter of fact, I remember as we were there in Nashville that weekend, we started hearing rumblings that there was the first confirmed case in Nashville. There was one confirmed case over the course of the weekend that we were there. And then obviously fast forward to now, we know exactly what all has happened with that. And so due to continuing COVID-19 protocols and restrictions, the official base of Nash Vegas, because as you all know, if anybody that's been there or seen pictures of it, this thing has grown massively over the years. Every year it's bigger and bigger and bigger. And so obviously it was not possible under the certain guidelines that are in place in Nashville right now to host Nash Vegas. So they've come up with an alternative. and it's kind of a cool idea. So if you are planning on going, there were still some people that were planning on going anyway. And so I wanted to reach out to Tone and ask him to explain what was going on so that it's not just a picture in a chat room and just a little tiny post in a chat room, so that people can listen to this and understand what's going on, just to kind of explain to it. And so I've got Tennessee Tone. Whoops, don't know what's going on there. Come back off of that. My phone just threw up on the screen there. So anyway, we'll see what's going on with Tennessee Tone here. Let's learn a little bit from what's going on with Nash Vegas, not Nash Vegas now, we're calling it unofficially. Okay, I'm talking here with Tennessee Tone. He is Tennessee Tone. Man, I wanted to get you for a few minutes and talk a little bit about not Nash Vegas, because I know COVID's reamed its ugly head again. And ironically, Nash Vegas was the last big event that we went to last year before COVID turned around and smacked us in the head.
Absolutely.
It was we were starting to get little glimpses. I think, as a matter of fact, the weekend of Nash Vegas last year, there was a report of there was one case, I think it was, in Nashville somewhere.
Yeah.
And we were all like, where is that? Where is that? So we had no idea what we were getting into. But so now we've had to make a change of plans for this year. So no longer Nash Vegas. We're calling it not Nash Vegas. Can you tell the listeners a little bit about what the plan is as far as you know right now? Is it officially, unofficially? What can people that are interested in coming expect?
Sure. So, like you said, unfortunately, the entire world's dealing with COVID right now, and Nashville being one of the hot spots. I mean, every day we're getting an update of more and more cases and whatnot. So the county that Nashville is in put a number of restrictions on gatherings and whatnot, how late bars can stay open, capacity, similar to everywhere else. And then we also had a number of chapter members who just weren't comfortable gathering that many people, because for those of you who have been to Nash Vegas, see, it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
You bet.
And we absolutely were very lucky to get it in last year, and right in time, because it feels like right after Nash Vegas, everything just started shutting down.
The day of.
So
I think we were leaving town and it was starting to close up.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's how it was. Like, they just waited just for us to finish Nash Vegas, and then was like, okay, they got it done, so we're good. So we made a call. It was a very tough call to make. It wasn't easy at all. And we kind of kept waiting and waiting and waiting, hoping for things to get better, hoping for restrictions to lift. And that's kind of why it took so long for us to make that call. So, we kind of kept hoping that we weren't going to have to make the call that essentially we did.
Right.
So we ended up canceling Nash Vegas because there was no way we could do it in Nashville, and you can't have Nash Vegas not in Nashville. And then again, with the number of chapter members that were uncomfortable with it, we didn't want to put anybody in a situation that they weren't okay with.
Yeah.
So we did end up canceling it. And then as a chapter, we decided that, you know what, there's still some people that are going to come down for that weekend. So we should still have a gathering for those people that are still going to come down, so they have somewhere to go.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the guys tagged it as not Nash Vegas, and it's actually going to be in Clarksville, Tennessee, which is right down the road from Nashville. And they got a location. It's called the Flippin' Axe, and it's a veteran-owned axe throwing place. And excuse me, they got private lanes and everything set up there. We've kind of told them about what we want to do and what we try to do, and roughly how many people would come. And they're excited to have the people come that are still willing to come and participate and hang out for the day. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Still trying to work out a couple more details and whatnot. But for the most part, that's where the gathering will be. For those that maybe bought a ticket already or got a reservation or something that can't get canceled and they still want to come to Nashville. Again, it's only about 40 minutes outside of Nashville. So if you're coming down for the weekend, you can still see
Nashville for a day and then come hang out with the guys at night and get to see a little bit more of Tennessee than normal.
Yeah, that's a good way to look at it, I guess.
Yeah, because again, there are some people who are like, "Hey, I'm going to come no matter what," and that's great. You know, we didn't want to just leave them hanging. You know, like they're going to come to our town. We had enough guys willing to get together and still play host for those that are coming. So we were able to find a venue that was accommodating and willing to work with us. So that's how we got this set up.
Very cool. Now, are you familiar with the axe throwing place? Have you been there before?
So it's a newer place. In Clarksville, we actually have, I think we have like 6 or 8 guys that are in Clarksville. And one of the guys, Johnny P, he knows the owner. So he's the one who's kind of been in contact with them and working it out and everything. So he's like our resident expert for that location.
Okay. Very cool. Do you know how many, are they limiting the number of people even for there, I assume? Because like anything else, when villains get together, sometimes the numbers get a little bigger than we planned on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And they were being, there are restrictions, not as many as there are in Nashville. But we told them how many people were coming and they were okay with it.
Okay.
I believe they have an outdoor section as well. So there was enough area to be able to be spread out.
Okay. That was my concern. Yeah, that was my concern when I thought about it. I thought, well, even if half of the people that are in the current Nash Vegas chat, you know, if you have 70, you know, between 50 and 70 people that show up, a lot of time for a lot of those axe throwing places, that's
a lot.
30 or 40 people more than they can fit in the area. So
yeah.
But
so
yeah.
It's like I just talked to the guys. I actually just called in there to make sure everything was still open and everything, and they said absolutely. You know, they're still looking forward to having, you know, if it's 10 people, it's 10 people. If it's like you said, 50, 70 people, then you know they're willing to accommodate.
Very cool. So the plan is it's just right now as it sits. I know you just said you're still working on some potential other little things, but as it sits right now, it's not officially, even unofficially, Nash Vegas. Nash Vegas, as we know it, is kaput for this year. This is a separate one-day event right now. Mm-hmm. It's going to be just this one thing. So there's no plans for really to have like an organized meet and greet of any kind if people want to come into town, other than you know, just
I'm sorry.
Other than just 1 or 2 people probably getting together.
Yeah, as of right now, it's Nash Vegas. There is no Nash Vegas.
Okay.
But again, we didn't. As a chapter, we decided that we didn't want to leave the people with no options.
Right.
So it was like, hey, at least for one night, and then you know we got somewhere to go and meet up.
Yeah.
And then again, it's like, I mean, you know this. Whenever you go anywhere, all you got to do is call up 1 or 2 guys, and somebody's going to get together with you.
Oh yeah.
So, you know, I'm sure if people are coming in on Thursday or Friday, all they got to do is reach out to a couple guys and they'll find a place.
That's cool. And then we can just spread then we can just spread that in the Nash Vegas chat. There's about 7 or 8 of us that are hanging out over here tonight. So
that's exactly how the chats go. Hey, we're here right now. Oh, okay, we're over here. Come meet us over here.
Yeah.
And you know, eventually everybody finds each other.
It's the funny thing is that's the way it happens at a world meet.
You
have the world meet chat, and you have about 10 different organized areas of, you know, well, we're over here. Well, we're over here. We're going to be here. We'll stop over there in a little bit, but we're over here now. And so, it'll be like that. It'll be like a tiny, tiny, tiny world meet.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
All right.
So,
well, I'm glad that you're able to figure out something. And, you know, because I noticed that there were a bunch of people that once you announced it, they were just like, nope. I'm still coming. We're a defiant bunch sometimes.
Yeah.
You try and tell us something's canceled, we're still going to show up and make it our own. So,
yeah, right. We're pretty good at doing that.
We are, and we haven't gotten in any trouble yet.
Right.
So we got to make sure we're smart about it.
Yeah, right.
All right, Tone, I appreciate you taking some time out to kind of explain to everybody else. We got a little bit of time coming up. Now, what was the date of it? Do you have that offhand?
Yep. So it's going to be March 6th.
Okay.
Again, it's called the Flippin' X, and that's FLIPNX in Clarksville, Tennessee. And we have it start to set at 6 p.m. till whenever.
All right. So that should be 2 weeks from tomorrow?
Yeah, it's coming up.
Wow, it's coming up real quick. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. 2 weeks. All right, man. Tone, thanks so much again. And anybody else not in the current Nash Vegas chat, the chat's still Nash Vegas chat.
Yeah.
Get in there. If you have any questions, find somebody who's in there. And if you want to hang out and make COVID restrictions and fit into the COVID restrictions, then that's all good. But
yeah, absolutely. And if anybody has any other questions, Will and Gator have been like the two kind of heading this thing up.
Great.
So they're going to have the most information. So again, you guys can hit them up directly, or again, jump in the Nash Vegas chat because they're in there as well.
Sounds great. Tone, thanks so much again. Have a great weekend, man.
All right. Appreciate you having me on.
All right. Talk to you later.
Thanks, man. Yeah.
All right. Tone, thanks so much for taking a few minutes out to explain to us what is going on and why the COVID has destroyed Nash Vegas. But there is light at the end of the tunnel because they are working on a plan to potentially do something just to hang out, throw some axes and whatnot. We'll see how that goes. But if you're going to be in the area, if you already made plans, hit up those guys in Tennessee because it's going to be you know how it is. We show up, and if you can follow some protocols, probably have a good time. And it sounds like they got a couple of other things possibly that they're trying to work on in addition to that. So axe throwing with brothers, it's always a good time, I think. Always a good time. If you are looking for an all-natural beard oil that will not only tame your beard and coarse hairs, but make your beard soft and smell amazing, check out Pulpo Beard Oils. Veteran-owned and made for today's beards, Pulpo beard products combine the best beard ingredients on the market with incredible customer service to ensure your happiness. Whether you need beard wash, beard oil, beard balm, or some fun clothing, Pulpo is the place to go. Feel fresh, feel savage, feel confident with Pulpo Beard Oils. Go to Pulpo Beard Oils, that's Pulpo beardoils.com, and use the code The Heart of a Villain for a discount on your order. Okay. I believe we have our guest live, Mr. Pumpkin King. The Pumpkin King, Mr. Bartone. Are you there, sir?
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
I'm good.
Busy. So I wanted to get you on, man, because this was kind of a cool idea that you had, and I was hoping that you could explain to everybody what this idea that you came up with regarding this Instagram page and what the purpose behind it was and why you really wanted to do it.
Well, I mean, COVID's been hard on all of us, and I've seen a hole that there was there's no link to all of our villain brothers and their business owners. I mean, until I started doing this, I didn't realize how many people actually owned their own business or had a side hustle. I mean, I've got villains, queens, villainettes, anybody that's doing anything for charity, any side hustle. I've tried to reach out as many as I can that I know off the top of my head. Other people have been helping me locate and get them onto this page. I believe I got about 20 on the page right now. I've still got a few to add, but there's a hole. And I mean, what better way to help small business than help your villain?
Yeah, I love the idea because it's such a weird and curious and cool group because there's people in there that are selling things. There's people in there that are just offering services. There's a whole crazy group of people in there, which is really cool because you have, I mean, it's kind of a one-stop shopping place if you want to go for a variety of different things. So can you tell me, you're planning on doing something here coming up. Now when you get a certain number of followers to the page, and you've reached out to a bunch of the people that are on that page. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Right. Well, I figured what's the best way to get people motivated to like the page or get the word out there is to do a giveaway. I mean, I've got merch from everybody from the Unicorn Squad. Andrew Rollins is selling a signed copy of his book. You got Josh, local guy here, does them badass beard combs. Chad, Oasis, Prime, Lashasha, I mispronounced Lashana, Evans, Little Bear, Essential Oils, all them. They're throwing into a big package, maybe some patches. I know not very many people like patches, but there'll be patches in there. I think if I can get double where I'm at now, I will put a link up, a share link, and then you have to follow certain follow directions, and that'll be how you're entered into the contest. I mean, the basket or box, it'll basically probably be a box, is growing every day.
Yeah, it is. And so for those who are not really understanding what this is, there's an Instagram page, and the Instagram page is listed as bearded_brotherhood_business. Bearded_brotherhood_business. And this is a page where it's a grouping of all sorts of different businesses that are run, owned, operated by, in some context, bearded villains and or family members. And it's just a great resource for us. So if you are not on that page currently, if you have a business and you want to be listed on there, and it really is, it's a great idea, great resource. I would love to see more people jump on that, especially even, and I could see a benefit to this, even for people that are outside the U.S., because once shipping delays come down, I think there are so many of us out there that have great resources and great ability to offer services, even if you are in the UK, even if you are in Australia or Canada or South America or wherever you are, you can really benefit from services from other people, other villains in other countries. So by all means, hit up the Pumpkin King or _Bartone is the IG handle.
If you could do it online, if you guys could do it online, message me online. It makes it easier for me to copy and paste. Just send me a picture that best describes your business and give me a small detailed like paragraph or something. That way I can reword it, and then I'll tag you in the picture and in the post. I really want to get more overseas. The stories in that IG, I have barbers and tattoos. I want to get that a little bigger. So if you're at a meet, you can look at my page. You can find out what local tattoo artist is there, what local barber is there. That way you're not having to ask a bunch of questions. It's all on one page. I do have another list of other stuff that we can't put on there, like drinks, but you have to message me personally for that.
Okay, so we have an underground list as well. We have a secret underground list, and you can get that information from Bartone himself directly.
They won't let me post a lot of that stuff on IG, and a lot of guys don't want it readily available to everybody.
Totally understandable. Totally understandable.
Kind of the same process.
Totally understandable. Okay, so great to know. So once you go to that page, and you can actually send them a message too if you have any questions. And again, it's bearded_brotherhood_business. Bartone, man, I appreciate you so much for doing this, coming up with the idea. I think it's a great idea, and it's been fun to watch it expand over the last several weeks.
I'm definitely excited about it. It gives me something else to do. I mean, I'm a busy guy, but this also gives me something else to do until I can get back on my feet. I also have Pumpkin King shirts. Those shirts, all the profit of that will go to help buy Halloween costumes. I know it's far down the road, but I'm trying to get pre-sale for them going. And I also have my shirt. Elgato redid my logo like this.
Yeah,
I will have those are on pre-sale too. Those are just kind of help. Those will actually go to me. I'm trying to get some funds, help get the shop since my accident.
Yeah,
get that back up and going.
Absolutely, bro. Hey, man, I appreciate it.
Definitely been fun.
Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. I'm excited to see where it takes us, both with that page, but also with you, man. Really cool idea again. And anybody that's out there that has a business or knows a villain that runs a business or owns a business, definitely get over there, follow this page, and hit up the Pumpkin King, because it needs to be done. We need to share that stuff. Thanks so much, man.
Yeah,
I appreciate it.
All right. I think BP.
I'll talk to you later, bud. Thanks.
I'll see you, buddy.
All right. And that was the Pumpkin King. Bartone. He's from Bearded Villains, Southern Indiana. What a great idea, I think, for that. And we can really, if you're listening on a regular podcast platform right now, definitely by all means, get out there, check out that page, like it, because once he hits 1,000 subscribers on there, or 1,000 likes or followers, I think it is on Instagram, of course, that's when he's going to prep to do this giveaway. And it's going to be a big giveaway. So a lot of people within this page have donated items, said they're going to donate items for this thing. So very fun. But what a cool thing, so that you don't have to ask around. It's just one portal. So you don't have to ask around, are there any villains that do this? And you can, if nothing else, you can ask advice. It's just another source for advice. So I'm really, really happy to see that he's done that. And yeah, we'll take it from there. So the next guest, my final chat of the evening was a really touching one. It's when I spoke with Gabe. Now, Gabe is a brother down in Miami. And as I showed you earlier online, or I talked about it for those of you who are just listening to it, the Bearded Villain Miami chapter, as you know, everybody knows the history of this chapter and their heart and how they work toward helping others so much, how everything that they do, they're very active, very giving, and they've done some great things over their lifetime of their chapter. They are now raising some money, as I said here, for a young man named Alex who is stricken with cancer. But I wanted to find out a little bit more about the behind-the-scenes story, about what this is, how this came to be, because we've seen the Instagram post and what they're going to be doing. The sales for this T-shirt, they're raising money for his family, will end within just a couple of days. So if you are interested in helping out with this one also, this is just a big charity episode, guys. That's what this one is. If you want to help out, by all means, hit up the Bearded Villains Miami chapter, bv305.com. But here's my conversation that I had with our brother Gabe from the Bearded Villains Miami. Such a cool thing.
Further than this kid that we're helping out, it starts with actually my son.
Yeah, so let me just
right
do a quick introduction for you, and then I got to pay attention, because he's got a past, he's got a history story, he's got a story of his own family member, and it takes him right into this. Okay, I've got Gabe on the line here. He's going to tell us a little bit about the backstory. He's got a very personal backstory behind this event, this fundraiser event that the Bearded Villains Miami currently have going on right now. We'll get into that in just a minute. But Gabe, how you doing tonight, bud?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me. How are you?
I'm fantastic, man. I know you have a real personal story here, and if you can give the listeners a little bit of backstory on this and how it led into what this current fundraiser is.
Yeah, absolutely. So the backstory starts with myself and my family. Back in 2019 in April, my son, he was then 5, started losing balance and was acting odd. So we take him into the emergency room, and unfortunately, he was diagnosed with a brain tumor that turned out to be cancerous. So we spent all of 2019 doing chemotherapy. He had a 13-hour craniotomy to remove the tumor from his brain. We did chemo, radiation, and we spent so much time in the hospital, and we got to know so many people that we created different relationships. And that's where Alex comes in. We were told about his story by somebody that we met at the hospital, and we decided to jump in and help him out. And that's where we are now with the fundraiser. Alex is a great kid. He's a 13-year-old boy who came from Honduras by himself, with his aunt actually, just to get the treatment here, because in his country he couldn't get the proper treatment that he needs. He's fighting a leukemia, a blood cancer. So he's here. His mom is now here, but they're obviously, having some financial troubles, and that's where we decided to step in.
Yeah. Wow. And step in you have. When Miami steps in, they don't just dip a toe in the water. As we've learned in the past, when Miami steps in, they step in with both feet and they jump in. Well, man, I can only imagine what that had to have been like for you, initially, you know, with your son's diagnosis, and that's been an ongoing thing ever since then. I know I've seen some recent posts. You've posted some positive news on his front. How's he doing?
He's actually doing amazing. So we had a MRI here a couple weeks ago, and his scans came back pretty much clear. They see some little remnants of what they think is a scar tissue now where the tumor used to be, but he's back in school. He's learning. He's thriving. He's doing amazing. You know, I couldn't be happier right now as a dad. So obviously, we're still continuing to monitor the situation. We all know how ugly this cancer thing is and can be. So we monitor and we keep the faith and we move forward and we just make things happen as they come, you know. So, but right now we're in a good place. We're in a space where we can help somebody else, and that's what we're trying to do with this fundraiser. That's
totally incredible. I love to see that, and it's always those personal stories that really bring it home for us when we've, you know, when it's affected our lives in some way, shape, or form. And it sounds like now that you've with your, you know, your situation with your son and his diagnosis through this hospital, that's kind of, you've rolled in this relationship now, and now it gives you the opportunity to help out and meet other people that are going through similar issues.
Yeah, that's exactly how it played out. And I've been lucky enough to have the support of the Beta Villains Miami. You know, when my son was diagnosed, you know, they felt it. They felt that it hit very close to home. So, and I'm proud to say that I'm part of Beta Villains Miami, because you know what, they stepped in. They said, you know what, you need our help, and without blinking or batting an eye, they came in and did what they had to do. And now they've taken on, you know, doing more and supporting and doing fundraisers for cancer research, fundraisers for helping this kid with his cancer struggles right now. So you know, I'm proud of that, and I'm proud of the work that we're doing down here. And I think you know, everybody can tell that we're doing good things down this way.
Oh my gosh, there's never a question whether where Miami's heart is, and the guys down there. You guys never do anything, like I said, half-hearted. It's amazing to see. So I did want to comment real quick, because I noticed in checking on a little bit of this, kudos to you, because in just I you know, through this podcast I talk to guys all over the world, and I have to research a little bit about them and everything like that as part of it.
Right.
But looking through their Instagram profiles, you get a little bit, you can kind of get a glimpse into their backstory or what they're all about just by the images and the things that they share. And so I wanted to say to you, kudos to you, because there would never be anyone who would see your Instagram profile and question whether or not you're a family man.
Absolutely.
I don't know. And usually I try to put up a photo of, you know, somebody when I'm talking to them or something like that on the phone. I had to look hard for just a photo of you. Everything in your Instagram is family. It's awesome. I love seeing that.
It's what I enjoy. It's what you know, what keeps me going, what keeps me happy, what keeps me motivated. It's why I do what I do every day, and you know, we get up and we fight, and you know, it's for them. It's no longer about us. You know, it stops being about us at some point, and especially once I got this diagnosis where I felt that I might lose him. That changes everything. So a lot of things that typically people worry about, I don't give a shit about. And sorry if I can't curse on the podcast.
Oh no, curse away, man. Be yourself.
So yeah, a lot of those things that people are like worried about, or you know, typical day-to-day things, I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. Like seriously, enjoy your family. Go home and spend that time. If you don't have to work the extra couple hours, go home and enjoy them. You know, so you don't want to wake up this one day and not have one of them and then say, shit, you know, I should have spent more time.
Yeah.
So
yeah. I completely, not to the extent that you've gone through, but I can say, I know that my son, my oldest, had to have brain surgery back in 2010 for a seizure disorder. And
oh wow,
when, you know, so any kind of surgery is, you know, very scary. But then when you start talking about brain surgery, I mean, talk about a different thing. And, you know, I kind of know exactly where you went with that and how that felt and how difficult that had to be. So, but I'm
it's heavy. heavy.
It is, but I'm so glad to hear he's doing well. And that's great to hear. So let's just real quick. So we have this fundraiser. We're doing shirts. We're doing patches.
Doing patches.
How now? This
and
is
everything else on the site is on sale as well. So
yeah. So this specific with the green ones with the this is just so cool. I'm looking at it right now.
yeah,
I love it. Who designed these?
that's our brother Vinny. He's on Instagram at Vinner at VINNER. And he's amazing. He did an amazing design. You know, we all chipped in and put our 2 cents in, but he actually put pen to paper and made it happen. And there we go.
That's awesome.
It's an awesome design.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Awesome. Yeah.
So the shirts are $20 to $22. The patches are only $10. Are these both pre-order?
Yeah, they're pre-order.
Okay.
Pre-orders end on Sunday night.
Yep. That's why I had to get you on now. I wanted to make sure we can
Yeah.
tell everybody get on there and don't miss out, because so often you guys have a habit of putting out some really cool merch, and then after, and you know this as well as I do, but after your pre-sales end or after the sale ends, people are like, "Oh, I missed it. I got to find one of those on an auction site or something." But
yeah, it always happens. There's always a couple that miss it and say, "Oh, well, I forgot or I didn't see it." But if we can all get it out there and remind folks that this is for a good cause. And, the sale is up till Sunday night. So get that shirt.
Yeah, get that shirt and that patch. We got to help Alex and his family out for sure, man. Let's get this thing going. We got a few more days. Tell everybody, share it with everybody. Bearded Villains Miami. It's at bv305.com is where you can get it. Gabe, thanks so much for taking some time out, and I hope you just sell the crazy crap out of this stuff, man.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me, and thank everybody for the support. We appreciate it.
You too, man. God bless, and tell your son I said hi.
Will do. Thank you so much.
Take care, man. Thanks.
Bye-bye. Take care. Bye.
All right, Gabe, man, our brothers out there are doing some really cool stuff, and it warms the heart. It makes you smile, makes you feel good, makes you feel proud to be a villain, to have these men as your brothers, and never ceases to amaze me. So there's no end to what we can do to help other people out, and so eloquently put there from Gabe. So, man, that's gonna do it, guys. I'm gonna roll into a calendar of events here, and we'll see where this takes us. We have a few things coming up that we've talked about already, but yeah, we'll cover that. The Bearded Villains Southern Indiana chapter has their Polar Plunge coming up. Their Polar Plunge is February 27th. Now, there are a few restrictions, I guess, involved in that. Some guidelines as they do from compared to previous years. But they are hosting it. They are still having it out there. So the Bearded Villains Southern Indiana Polar Plunge is February 27th. If you want to help out, if you want to participate, get a hold of those brothers down in Southern Indiana and go get wet. More importantly, go get cold and wet. February 27th. May 21st and 22nd. May 21st and 22nd is DSV 5, hosted by South Mississippi in Ocean Springs. It's going to be a good one. People have been waiting for something like this. DSV 5, May 21st and 22nd. Hit up the South Mississippi chapter for further information on this event. It's going to be a good one. Then June 11th and 12th is the West Coast meet in Denver, Colorado. June 11th and 12th for the West Coast meet in Denver, Colorado. That same weekend, June 12th, is Knox Villains. Always a great time. Raises a bunch of money in the past. I can't imagine that it won't again this year. Hosted by the Smoky Mountain Bearded Villains. June 12th, the weekend of June 12th, in Knoxville, Tennessee. September 2nd through the 6th is the Villain Cruise 5. I haven't heard any updates on this one yet, but as far as I know, it's still going on as planned. Hosted by the Bearded Villains Finland and Sweden chapters. Starts off, I believe, in Barcelona, Spain for the Villain Cruise 5, September 2nd through the 6th. Then September 24th to the 26th is the East Coast meet, hosted by our Bearded Villain brothers in West Virginia. It's going to be in Parkersburg, West Virginia. Again, that's September 24th to the 26th for the East Coast meet. And then also in September is the Four Corners meet. The Four Corners meet, hosted by our Bearded Villain brothers in Phoenix, New Mexico, Colorado, and Utah. The Four Corners meet in Cortez, Colorado. And I have a specific date now, finally, for this one. It's September 10th through the 12th. The weekend of September 10th through the 12th, Four Corners meet in Cortez, Colorado. And that's what I've got on the books right now, guys. If you have anything that's not listed on there, that you got an event coming up, by all means, hit me up. Let me know. All sorts of different ways you get a hold of me. And I'll get this on the list. I want to share it. If you've got an event, doesn't matter where it's at in the world, what you got going on. I want to be there to help support it and publicize it for you so we can get people there to help you out. That is our calendar of events. All right, guys. You know what that means? That's going to wrap up episode 71 of The Heart of a Villain. Remember, you can still buy the shirts, patches, pins, and all the good stuff. Listen to all previous 70 episodes of the podcast at theheartofvillain.simplecast.com. That's where all the good stuff is. Thank you guys so much for being here. I want to also thank my guests tonight, Gator, Tone, Gabe, and Pumpkin King, for taking some time out, talking about their individual things that they've got going on. And now we know how we can support all of our brothers out there. It's going to be good, guys. We're doing some good things. I want to challenge all of you, as I always do, to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. Finally, guys, as I always say, please, please, please remember, it's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. So for now, have a great weekend, guys. Enjoy the week ahead. Have a great night. Take care and stay safe.
Like it's 86, Shelly told 3 stripes we on. Hey, you know the B.I. It's BV Worldwide Fantasy. Stateside across ponds, no borders. I am my brothers, keep your facial features covered. Stay feeling one brotherhood.